Welcome to the Get Fully Funded channel. I'm Sandy Reese, Chief Encouragement Officer here at Get Fully Funded, where we help small nonprofits learn to raise the money they need to fully fund their budget. I am here to help you master the art and science of fundraising, tip by tip, and I've got a really good one for you today. But first, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so that every time we upload a new piece of content, you're the first one to know. All right, let's get to this week's tip. Sometimes no matter what you do, no matter how hard you work, no matter how much you push, you fall short of a fundraising goal. Maybe it's a fundraising goal for a specific campaign, a specific appeal, or maybe for the whole year. What do? Well, you might be tempted to cry. You might be tempted to cuss or complain. And if you need to do those things, do them. And then I want you to get curious. Then I want you to start looking at and evaluating that campaign, that appeal, that overall fundraising goal, and asking yourself, what happened here? Why did we miss the goal? And I want to give you some things that you can think about to help you evaluate that. And then I want to give you one idea on what you can do about that if you find yourself in that situation where you're falling a little short. All right, so when you're evaluating a campaign, an appeal, an overall fundraising goal, try to figure out what happened here. Why did we fall short? Obviously, you want to take a look at it and say, was that a realistic goal to start with? Because it might have been or it might not have been. If you were shooting too high and you did everything right and you still fell short, maybe the goal was too big. Could have been. Or maybe the timing was wrong. That can happen sometimes. That can happen at an off time of year. Like we know during the holidays people are going to give, but sometimes late spring and summer can be kind of low times for fundraising. So was it the timing? Did you just come out of another campaign and you went right into another ask? We see that sometimes with our animal welfare clients where they've got a hoarding case and then a dog with a medical issue and then something else and something else. And so they're just asking. And then they send out a scheduled appeal and it falls flat. Well, that could be a case of donor fatigue where they're just asking too many times in a row. People get tired. That's a timing issue. That's a donor fatigue issue, and that might be your issue or it might not. Maybe your messaging wasn't quite as compelling as it needed to be. Maybe you didn't have a strong enough sense of urgency. Maybe your ask wasn't clear. Maybe people couldn't connect the dots between the story you were telling and the need you're trying to address, and they couldn't see how their donation was going to make a difference. Maybe there's something going on in the economy. Maybe it's a combination of a lot of those things. We see that a lot when we're working with a client and they fall short of the goal. It's usually a combination of a couple of different things. It's helpful to evaluate because if you can understand why it fell flat, you can prevent it in the future. So the next time you do that campaign or a similar activity, you can have a little more control over it and try to prevent some of that from happening. So that's the evaluation part. Now, if you find yourself in this situation where you're like, but Sandy, we just did this appeal and we fell $5,000 short of our goal. We really, really need that $5,000. Okay, here's something that you can do. Go look at your donor list. Look at your list of your best donors. Reach out and call one of them, explain what happened, and ask them if they can help. Because sometimes you'll have a donor that says, oh, that's hard. Let me make up the difference for you. That can happen. I've seen it happen. Sometimes that donor might say, I can't give you the full $5,000, but I could give you $2,500. Great. Ask them if you can use that $2,500 as a match, and then go back to your donors who haven't given yet and say, one of our donors has stepped up and generously offered $2,500 as a match. Please give so we can reach the match, close the gap, and help change more lives. Remember that it's not about your goal. I mean, it is and it's not. Internally, it is about your goal. Externally to your donors, it is not about the goal. It's about changing more lives. So make sure that you're putting that context on the ask. If you don't have donors that you can reach out to and ask them to help you close that gap, then that is something you need to work on ASAP. Every organization needs 10 to 20 donors who give at a high level and are very committed to the organization so that when this happens, you can reach out to them and ask them to support the work you're doing so that you can make a bigger difference in the world, change more lives by closing that gap. So hopefully this is helpful for you to evaluate your campaigns, to figure out and get curious about why you didn't reach the goal. And then you can use this one idea to help you close that gap if you do ever find yourself in that situation. If you like this video, there's plenty more where this one came from. Be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell so that every time we add a new tip, you're the first to find out. I don't want you to miss a single thing.